Hi everyone, this is Joe MVR and this is the GRF Show podcast. I'm joined here today with Dennis. Dennis, how are you doing?
Hi Joe, thanks. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Good. I think this is episode 13
Yeah,
and
it is.
yeah, it is. And it's been a while and we've had people banging on our doors saying, when are you doing another podcast? So I'm taking that as a sign that people actually want us to do this and they like it. Uh, so
Definitely.
so Weepy, Mickey Donald, and you guys, right? This one's definitely for you. It's been a while, and we are not being joined by Shinyo today. But we thought we should probably put out an episode quickly, and we'll do another one shortly, a more full one with Shinyo joining us and maybe a guest as well. So Dennis, tell me, you've been away for a while, right?
Yeah, I've been away for a while. I've been away. I've been on a holiday trip. I've been to Croatia to visit my parents for 3 weeks. And before that, I was also a bit absent because I had a lot of work to do and holiday preparation. So all in all, I think it's been it must be around 5 weeks that I've not been sitting in my rig.
Yeah, that's there was a bit of an absence for you, and I know Shinyo was working abroad as well, and that was taking up a lot of his time.
Mm,
I've been really busy as well. I think you know this already, but just last week, my wife found out that she had breast cancer, and yesterday
yeah.
she had an operation to get that removed. So things have been like really crazy here. And so I was able to do a podcast last week until we got this news. So we had a little further delay. And so I think in a couple of weeks, all three of us should be more available and we'll have a proper episode. So we're just
Yeah.
doing kind of a band-aid one here today. So you went to, I guess, your home country or your ancestral home country of Croatia.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of both of them.
yes,
My home
exactly.
country, my second home, my first home, my ancestors' home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you went to see your family, right?
I went to see my family. Yeah, usually in summer we go for 3 weeks and then we stay. The first week we stay with my parents. They live just outside of the capital city, Zagreb,
Yep.
and they spend time with our daughter. And then the second week, the middle week, we usually go to the sea, to the Adriatic Sea. I've been to the same place now the third time in a row, I think. It's
Yeah.
called Umag in Istria, if you've ever heard of it.
No, I haven't.
And
Yeah.
yeah, Istria is it's in the north. It's at the Adriatic coast, but it's all up in the north. If you know Italy,
Yeah.
if you know where Venetia is, then you have Trieste, and then comes Croatia, and then the most northern part at the sea, it's Istria. That's where we spent a week this
Oh,
year, or
cool.
the last 3 weeks. The last 3 years, I mean. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the last week, we returned back to Zagreb to my parents, spent some more time with my parents, and yeah, then did some shopping and the usual stuff, and then it was all over, and we had to go back to Switzerland.
Did you get a lot of? Did you get a healthy dose of being guilt tripped by your mother? That's what mothers do when you haven't been there for a while.
No, she's not like that, but
I
she's
see.
like, no, it's okay, it's okay.
Because you,
Usually we're in Croatia like twice a year, once in a while, even 3 times a year.
yeah,
But we haven't been there since last summer because it was just not possible because of to take off from work. And yeah, at the end of the end of the day in Switzerland, you have 5 weeks of holidays during the year. So you have to spend them wisely. 3 is usually in summer Croatia, and the other two, one of them is also Croatia. And the last of the 5 weeks is usually also taken up by taking off single days, for
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Right.
rally game releases and stuff like that.
So, but you went to see your family, but you still somehow managed to get some rally
Yeah,
related
yeah,
stuff in the way. That's
yeah,
what I was trying to guilt you about.
yeah, yeah. A little bit of rally, which was kind of an coincidence that because that was the day, it was a Friday before we left for the seaside.
Yep.
And we went to the zoo in Zagreb.
Okay.
And right across the street from the zoo, there's the football stadium or as you might call it, soccer. I don't know in Canada.
I call it
British,
football.
so
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, football. There's the football stadium of Dinamo Zagreb, and on the parking lot they had the service park for a rally which took place there that weekend, which is called the Delta Rally.
I see.
It's not related to the Lancia Delta, but the club that organizes the event is called Delta Auto Club.
Okay.
So after the zoo, we had a little bit of a sneak peek around, see the cars who were already there. The rally took place, I'm not sure if it was only on Sunday or Saturday and Sunday, but a lot of teams were already there, like putting the tents up and getting ready for the rally on Friday. So there was a little bit something to see in the service park.
Yeah, I saw your great photos. You just took some photos with your phone and of some really cool cars. Maybe if I give you some homework and you can put it on Imgur or something, we'll put a link to all of those pictures on all the different platforms, right? That would be cool.
Yeah, we can do that after the podcast. Just send me a link of where you want me to upload the pictures.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
It's only phone pictures, but it's really cool because the whole event, even though I think it's one of the oldest rally events that is down there, has a very grassroots vibe. There were lots of older Peugeots or Rally 4 cars and some homegrown Ford Escort Mark I with a Honda engine, stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I even saw a couple of cars in traffic, standing at the red lights, but I didn't manage to get my phone out because I was taking care of the little one and I had her on my arm, so it was kind of difficult to take a picture. But there was this moment when I came around the corner for the zoo, and there was 3 or 4 cars waiting in the morning traffic at the red light. It was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I guess it's been a while since we had the podcast, so just a couple of weeks ago, we had the Montreal F1 here, the Formula One, the Grand Prix, and I live right in the center of town, and so just at the end of my street, there's just around the corner from there is the Ritz-Carlton. I think the Mercedes team was staying there, and also because one of the big F1 exhibits in the town, one of the 2 that happen, are literally 300 meters from my house. Anyone who's got any kind of car that is kind of flashy, they will all parade their cars that day, or that week, the whole weekend, And there was even I think a Hyundai Elantra, I think, or a Sonata with scissor doors like a Lamborghini. And it was parked with the doors.
You know what I say? What I say when I see cars like that? 2002 called and wants their car back.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it was, but often there's a lot of beautiful Porsches, McLarens, the occasional Bugatti and stuff. So all the rich people who only bring their cars out once a year, come out at that time. It's really interesting. But it's so much so that it's so common that I don't even bother taking pictures usually.
Yeah. Did you go to see Did you see the race?
No, I didn't at all. But I did share some pictures on the Discord of Lewis Hamilton's car from last year, and with a McLaren driving by, with the McLaren P1 driving by. On the road, because I was on the other side of the street, so it was quite cool to get both the Formula One car and a P1 in the same shot.
Cool. So when I was in Croatia, I think the I don't know what it's called, One Life Rally or something. When rich people gather together in their supercars and then drive through Europe and people applaud them and take pictures and stuff. And I think they were in Croatia the the same 3 weeks. I mean, one of the weeks they were there because they were televised on national TV.
Well, I think you and I are similar in that we can see these supercars, hypercars, and say, "Oh yeah, that's nice," but the thing that really would really get me excited would be to see, a Delta Integrale or something like that, and I would be like, "Oh my God!"
Absolutely, absolutely. It was what I told you. In Croatia, in Zagreb, when I came around the corner, the first car, the car that I saw at the red light, that was an older Skoda Fabia rally car, and I was like, "Wow, it's so cool!" And it's got the red, white, and green livery, the Skoda stuff. So awesome,
Yeah.
Even though it's a 20-year-old race car.
Yeah, exactly. Because we get McLarens and Lamborghinis parked on my street, and I don't, I don't really care so much about them.
I mean, I don't want to sound arrogant, but when you live in Switzerland and you go to Zurich or something, that's basically all you see.
Yeah.
Expensive cars, so.
Yeah, a cousin of mine, kind of funny, cousin of mine just bought his first Porsche, right? First 911, and I said, "Oh, that's pretty good." I don't think I'll ever have one. And he said, "You know why I got this? Because when I was 8 years old, when he was 14 years old, I was 22, and I took a trip to Vienna for a conference while I was doing my PhD, and I saw a Porsche 959." And I came back, to him, and I told him that's the best car in the world. And he was like 12 years old, and since that he was, he became obsessed with Porsches to the point where now, when he's 40, he bought one, and he said it was my fault because I told him when he was a kid.
But the 911s are actually cool. That's something that also. If a guy shows up and says, "I always want the Porsche, and I bought a 911," that kind of impresses me.
Yes,
and that's something that I'm more interested in than any other supercar, hypercar that has been built 5 times. Because usually people who drive Porsches are also into Porsches more than the guys driving McLarens and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah.
Of course, not all of them, but Porsche is really
I agree with that.
But what I always say, it has to be a 911. I'm not impressed if it's a Boxster, a Cayman, a Cayenne, and we're not even going to start about those
the SUVs. The Taycans
or whatever. No.
Yeah, so I like the electric ones as well. So, but that's where we differ. But whatever, I know your stance on those.
I'm okay if you buy an EV Kia, EV Hyundai, EV Ford, whatever, but don't buy an EV Porsche.
They're really good, though. They're really good. They're really good.
Okay. Enough of real car talk.
Yeah, let's go to let's go to the main content of the podcast, I guess. A roundup of what's been going on. Do you have any WRC news? And I know already what your answer is going to be, but do we have any WRC stuff?
No, unfortunately not, because I've been away from WRC generations or WRC games even longer than I've been absent from Dirt Rally games.
Yep.
So what I know is that GRF guys that were really high in the league rankings. I'm not sure. We're not quite in the highest here, but very high up there. But I don't know actually what's going on. So we'll have to postpone all the WRC stuff to the next podcast. But we have not forgotten the WRC generations guys.
Yeah. So I think the same, we'll definitely get a much better update on that very soon, I think, on the podcast. And I think same is probably going to be true for the RBR stuff, because I haven't spoken to Baricito about that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So
Void Robot, the RBR guy.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Baricito is the WRC guy, and Void Robot is what I meant. Dennis, if before we move on to the regular championship, can we take a brief pause? I'm gonna help my wife with something.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I'll leave the broadcast on. I'll take off my headset and I'll be back as soon as I can.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
right. Hi. Yeah, so since it's 32 degrees here and my air conditioning is broken, my dog was very thirsty and he was lying on the bed with my wife and he wanted to go downstairs and he's too old to go down the stairs, so I have to carry him down.
Oh.
So we'll probably cut out that bit for the
Yeah.
final produced version.
Well,
But
I had to go to the doctor with my parents' dog. I mean, my dad and me had to go to the dog doctor while I was on vacation.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they have a Newfoundland dog.
Oh cool. Yeah. And is he
They're
okay?
huge.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, it's okay, but she's like 9 years old and had a surgery on her back legs. But yeah, was just a checkup after surgery. Yeah, but
I see.
it's a huge dog, you know, and
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
dogs
yeah.
tend to have problems with bones and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog is 14 almost and he's little, so he's doing very well, but he's afraid of going down the stairs because he's fallen a couple of times and tumbled down the stairs. So, and my wife has just had surgery, as I mentioned, so she wasn't able to pick him up. So I had to do that, but I'm back. So let's talk about the regular championship. I believe you set that one up.
Yes, that was me.
And
A bit, yeah.
we've had a few locations already. Let's see.
Yeah, it was New England, Scotland.
Wales.
We went to Wales, like popular locations.
Monte Carlo.
Was Monte Carlo all tarmac? Do you remember that? Because I set it up to be like all tarmac.
Yeah, it was not all tarmac. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was
like
soft tires all the time.
Tarmac, yeah.
Yeah.
Most possible tarmac you can have.
Yep, I've done some of those. I've created some of those as well. Or mostly I like to do all ice, but I've done some all tarmac. And
I like Monte Carlo all tarmac.
Yeah,
That's why I set it up, but I didn't drive it at the end. Yeah.
I must say I do prefer the Monte Carlo tarmac to the Spain.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, and
There's in WRC there's Sanremo,
yes,
which is really cool. It's kind of, you know, it's like kind of Monte Carlo, but only all dry. tarmac. I mean dry, no snow. There can be rain or whatever, but no snow, which is really cool. Spain is, as I've mentioned many times before, I think that's like my least favorite location next to Sweden. But from the very little tarmac locations that the game has, Spain is the worst one.
I've actually become more into Spain recently, only because of the Expert Historic, where we've been doing rear-wheel drive cars. So it's not really. I thought I was really bad at Spain. I still am, but I'm good at rear-wheel drive. So even Spain benefited from my enthusiasm.
I think it's a bit dull, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring. I know if you ever watch the real WRC rounds in Catalonia in Spain, it was every year it was the same thing. Like the standings that you had at the end of the first day stayed like that for the rest of the weekend, for Saturday and Sunday. So it was always kind of a little bit of a boring rally. And I think that really transfers also into the game. I just think the stages are dull and I don't like it a lot.
Okay. Well, we just did we just had New Zealand. Hang on, there's someone at my door now.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's just a delivery from Amazon. I'll pick it up later.
That was event number 5, New Zealand.
That was
Group A car.
That was really annoying one for me. I think there were 8 stages. Yeah, and after the 7th stage, I was fighting with Toolmaker for first place, and before I did stage 7, I think I was 1.25 seconds behind him. But generally, my pace was faster, and I felt that I could get there. And then I think I had like 4 red sectors and 4 green sectors, and only in the last sector did I get first place. And I was so shocked by it that I wasn't paying attention, and I drove my car into a pole after the finish line, wrecked my radiator, and then to my surprise, I was 12 seconds in the lead. And it was N Bates who was second, because Toolmaker also crashed on stage 7 early on and got a big penalty. So I was like, damn, I've just ruined my chances of winning, because I had almost 13-second margin, right? That's going to be enough. But when I started driving one of my favorite stages, the last one, I could hear that, that funny rattle that you hear when you've got a punctured tire? Yeah, the clanking sound. And and I didn't hear the the of the tire, but I could hear the clanking sound, so I knew that maybe any second now the tire was going to pop. So I said, okay, forget it, I'm not going to win now because the tire is punctured. But it turns out it was just the wheel geometry that was broken and not the punctured, so I was going slow for no reason. And but it was already too late. I mean, the steering was messed up, and it would have been very close, I think. But anyway, so I ended up in 3rd place, and then I think Pukey came later on and pushed me down even further into 4th place. So I was really annoyed because I was, a 13-second lead with 1 short stage to go. It was a done deal, and yeah. Well, anyway, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed driving that. The whole championship has been really fun.
Yeah, it seems like, but what I say is that there has been a lot of different winners. New England first one, Toolmaker won the rally. Second one, Scotland, Dylan, age 25.
That's Pukey, yeah.
In Pukey.
Yeah.
Then third event, GS 540, won, and then 4th Monte Carlo was Ed Rosa, and 5th N Bates. Yeah, lots of different winners. And currently in Argentina, which is running now, Toolmaker is leading. But when I checked this afternoon, there's only been like 5 people driving it.
Oh, in Argentina, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, so now we have a few more. We have 10 people have finished, and about, I think, 15 people probably started. Yeah, 15 started. This is one of my strengths, this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I predict that it's going to be close between me, Pukey, and N Bates.
Yeah, and your name is missing on first spot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I should have had that in New Zealand. One of the ones I had really bad, I don't know if I retired early or I just carried on doing it when I would have rage quit, but I finished it anyway. I think if Wookie does this one, we're going to be very far behind. He's just in a class of his own in Argentina. So that will be interesting, especially rear-wheel drive. He's going to get in that Renault Turbo, and he's just going to destroy us. The rest of us will probably have like a 5-second gap between first, second, and third, and then he'll come and be 30 seconds ahead.
But Wookie hasn't driven any other rallies in this championship, right?
That's right. I mean, he's probably away or something, but if he sees Argentina, so he might just do it.
Even if he destroys you guys, he won't be in the run for the championship.
No, exactly. But what it might do is remove my chance for getting any event wins. I'm always like 4th or 5th consistently, so I end up in 3rd at the moment, because I'm doing this championship like a special as well. A very little preparation. I'm just jumping in. It's the one that I do on the Monday night as the last thing. So, Okay. So yeah, that's shaping up nicely. Anything you want to add? We'll move on to the special events.
We can move on to special events.
Okay, so special events have been interesting. What did we do? We had a team event that went really well, and people have been talking about that they want to do more. So we'll have a few ideas for that by the end of the summer. We maybe will start the fall season with a team championship or something. There's the threat of a new game coming out, but we'll deal with that when we get there. We also did the Anarchy event, which was really cool. It was all the admins versus everybody else for average time, and that was really close. It was super close.
Yeah, I remember.
Which suggests that the admins, maybe that's why we have such good admins, is because we're representative of the whole population. So on average, so there we go. And then most recently we had the Legacy Championship. That was the team event, as I said. And then we've just had the Lancia 037 versus the Audi. And that championship was a lot of fun as well. People liked that. We tried to do what we could to have mixed classes by doing them 1 week after the other, rather than having two clubs that you had to join. But maybe with the future game there'll be more possibilities, and there are still more possibilities that we could do with more than one club. We'll see.
I can't hear you anymore.
You can't hear me? Oh.
Now I can again, yeah, but it's like you're gone once in a while.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I think my recording here is fine. It was just our connection. But I'll say it again.
Now it's back fine. Yeah, now it's back fine. Yeah.
So the Audi versus 037 championship was kind of meant to reproduce a part of the 1982 season, I believe, when there's a Jeremy Clarkson, whom I don't like very much, video about it, but I like that video from the historic purposes, and it was really.
What's not to like about Jeremy Clarkson?
I don't know. He's just a boomer. That's all. He used to be hilarious when 30 or 40 years ago or 20 years ago, let's say. The last 15 years, it's been really, not because he's changed, he hasn't, that's the point. I think my tastes have changed, so that's on me. Anyway, so he had a great video about all the tactics that Lancia used to win that championship against a clearly superior car.
They just did it the Italian way.
Exactly. And so what we did was it was just Spain and Greece, I think, and we just did one week. It was the Audi in Greece, and then the next week it was the Lancia. Then it was 1 week of the Audi in Spain, and then the Lancia in Spain. And in each case, the conditions and the tracks were all the same, identical. So you could compare your own time in the Audi versus the Lancia, and it was really interesting. Some of the rear-wheel drive guys couldn't handle the four-whing drive Audi, and they were faster in the Lancia. The Audi was a bit of a handful. So we had a pretty decent thing that people said that they enjoyed and that we might do again in the future, something like that. So as a filler for the summer, now we've got the Tour of Great Britain. The Tour of Great Britain event, which is 5 days in Scotland and 7 days in Wales in the H3 rear-wheel drive category, but the usual suspects of the Stratos and the Renault are banned. Tier 1, we have the Datsun, which is probably the slowest car in that class. And Tier 2, we have the BMW, which is a really easier to drive, fast one. And in tier 3, we have, I think, your favorite, the Sierra.
Yeah. I'm happy that you chose the Sierra for the tier 3.
I actually had you in mind.
Oh.
I said, I'm going to put a Ford.
To get me back into rear-wheel drive racing.
Yeah, exactly. Because I could imagine you saying, oh my God, rear-wheel drive. And I thought, what can I do to sweeten the deal for Dennis? And, you know, we have, I'm going to find, this will be my first shout out, really. We have a new guy that I met on Reddit who's joined the the special events, and his name is D-Day PT or De Castro Jorge PT. And
the guy with the really long Discord name.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's Portuguese. Gifu asked if he was Portuguese, and he's, yeah, you know, he's been really cool. He's been trying to improve his rear wheel drive driving in the BMW, and he, you know, I gave him some tips and stuff, and he's been like very receptive and really cool. And it turned out he's never driven an online competition before, so he didn't even know what to do. So this is going to be his very first one.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's late in the game, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so, you know, we're holding his hand a little bit, telling him, you'll click here and do this, and then you'll join. But I think he's going to be a really good competitor, kind of in the Pro-Am, maybe Pro division. So we'll see. That's cool. So shout out to him. And yeah, so that's it. You know, we've just started this. Not many people have done it so far.
You know what I've just seen? I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with the game, but when you wrote that like tier 1 is using the Datsun, like 2 hours later I went to Instagram and I saw that the guy that I know from a racetrack, who actually owns a really nice Datsun Z.
Oh wow!
Imported from California to Switzerland, and really nice car, and he crashed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The same evening when you decided that tier 1 will use the Datsun Z, a friend of mine crashed his one. His real life one.
Oh man, was he okay?
Yeah, he was okay, but it was really, you know, the car is like in really nice shape, nice wheels, new engine. He imported the car from California some couple of years ago. It was really his pride and joy, and he just. His what's it in English? The stub axle nut, I think it's called Achschenkel in German.
Okay.
Stub axle nut came off from the back of his car, so he lost the wheel, and then
oh my gosh,
there wasn't anything he could do, and he slammed it into a wall. But he's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm glad he's okay, and yeah, the car is obviously a tragedy, but it could have been much worse, man.
Yeah, of course. But you know, in Switzerland, they're really rare. You don't see them at all.
Yeah.
These old Datsun Zs, and yeah, now it's crashed. But the cool thing is, just today I saw that he already got a replacement. And,
oh, nice.
Which is it's an Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint Veloce, if you know that car, like little 60s red Alfa Romeo coupe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's one of those really. I want to own cars from Alfa Romeo from the 60s. Yeah.
You know, with the Datsun, there's a really good video. On YouTube, there's a guy who does historical car reviews, and I can't remember his name now, but maybe I'll put a link on it. But he's my favorite. He and Chris Harris are my favorite car guys on YouTube, I think. So yeah, it's something media, and he used to be in Drive. I think the Drive channel was he used to do things with this other guy. I can't. Anyway, I don't remember the names, but I'll put a link in. There's a really good video on the Datsun and the why they made it, and you know, who they were trying to compete with and why it became such a success. So. You know, it's actually a nice car to drive, but it's not competitive in that league at all. So
it's also it's not a really fast car, you know.
Yeah,
That's what my friend also told me when I met him first time at the racetrack, and said it's not really fast, but you know it's nice to drive. It has a nice inline six engine.
yeah,
It's more about the whole experience, and I just think those Datsuns, they just look so nice. They're
yeah.
so, you know, with the long hood
Yeah.
and the short back from the car, it's just like perfect. You know,
You
they
know,
just
they
look
say,
with the correct set of wheels, they just look
yeah,
perfect.
exactly. And you know, they say that the Jaguar E-Type is the most beautiful
Yeah, yeah,
car. I don't care about the E-Type, but when I was a kid, the Datsun was the car that I thought looked better than
yeah,
the E-Type. So you know that might
yeah.
be complete blasphemy, but that's what
Yeah, you
I
can,
think.
you know, you can't really compare them. I think the E-Type owner would never buy a Datsun Z, and the Datsun Z owner would never buy a Jaguar E because it's way too expensive. But
Yeah.
they're both nice cars. But I see your point there.
Just for looks alone, you know, I kind of really loved
Uh,
the Datsun. And when I was a kid, I couldn't believe that that was a Datsun, because
yeah, yeah.
yeah, at the time,
Which is funny because Datsun is like the cheap brand of Nissan, you know. Or
yeah,
it was before it was Nissan, it was Datsun, and then I think there was even a time when there was Datsun and Nissan, and Datsun was a little bit on the like cheap brand from Nissan. But I mean, just look at it. It's even by today's standards, it still looks. It doesn't even look like really old, you know. It just has aged so well.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Good. Well, so that's the special event. Right now in GRF1, we have Toolmaker in the lead. He's leading, followed by Benjamin Bean. And but why Mr. Duck? So there's about and then VH80 is the fourth person. There's about a minute between first and third at the moment. And then Zephyr
Okay.
R93 is in the BMW. He's in first place and the only one in GRFW. And we have Jay Booger and Eddie. Eddie 43 in GRF3 are 1 and 2 respectively in the special events. So yeah, Scotland has a big endurance part of it, I think, in the second loop before we have a power stage. So I think it's 3 long stages in a row without service.
Oh,
So there we go.
oh.
Yeah. And then the one shot weekly, well, that's actually one of the things that I'm leading at the moment. I'm in the lead in the one shot weekly. We've had, let's see, how many events have we had in the one shot? We've had 7 already, and we have 5 more to go. So currently, I believe it's, I think it's New Zealand. No, I think it's Argentina in rear-wheel drive, but I'm just going to check where we are now. Yeah, it's... Oh, maybe I am wrong. What did we just have? We just had Catamarca. Yeah, it's... Oh, sorry, let's see. Right, it is Greece, and it is in Group B four-wheel drive.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to be interesting. As I said, I'm leading that at the moment, and I believe Pukki is second, just very close behind. Ed Rosa third, and Bates fourth, and Darrow in
Okay.
fifth. So it's actually quite close between Pukki and me right now for first, and Ed Rosa is just a little way behind because he was very busy and he had a couple of bad weeks. But that's going quite well. I think we've had quite a few people enter that one. And what's left? The daily. Yeah, the daily has been interesting as well. Right now we have Speed Sensei. It's good to see him consistently doing daily events with us. He's in first place, and we have Jandar Darrow in second, and Weepy in third, Pukki in fourth, and Danoon 1956 in fifth. And that's been going strong. I didn't compete, I did one this week, but I'm not competing in it this week. But I will be joining every now and again. It's going really well, and Void, again, hats off to him for organizing that day after day. Anything, are you planning to do any of these, or do you just choose to whatever looks good at the time when you have time?
I think I will get back as soon, when once the regular championship is finished,
Yeah.
I will get into the new championship, and I will also definitely get into the new special event.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the Sierra.
And as usually, in the Sierra, of course.
Yeah.
Crash it during the long loop, I guess. No.
Yeah, you'll be fine, I'm sure.
And the occasional daily and
cool
and other stuff.
Yeah.
I think, by the way, regarding the Sierra, a lot of people claim that it's one of the harder cars to drive in the class. I think it's one of the easier cars to drive in the class. Not that I'm fast or anything, but I enjoyed more than like driving the BMW or the other cars, which are apparently easier to drive. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I found maybe it's people think it's really hard to drive very fast because it has a really crazy top speed, and it's it can be quite fast. Pukey is just absolutely amazing with it. He's really good with that car, so we'll see how it goes. But since we're all using the Datsun, the Expert Historic did H3 rear-wheel drive 2 seasons ago, and I ended up winning that championship in the Lancia Stratos, but it was because one, Wookie wasn't participating. 2, Pukey was taking the Sierra, and I think Ed Rosa was as well. And N. Bates was in the Renault. So now we're all forced to take the same car, and I bet we're going to see who the real best driver there is going to be, and my money is on Pukey or N. Bates. So that's what I think is going to happen. And it's also the Datsun really depends on tuning as well.
But isn't the Datsun like really a lot slower than the rest?
It is.
Not as far as I know, and the couple of times I've driven it, I mean, you just can't really even compare it to the other ones.
Yeah, I'm sure most of GRF2, the top guys in GRF2, maybe even in GRF3 are going to beat the Datsun. But when we just compare within the tier, it's going to be interesting. It really depends on how we tune the gearing, I think, is going to be the most important thing. So, okay, cool. And, well, I guess the other thing I wanted to talk about is the 2 Idiots 1 Car Championship. It's a different club. That's going strong with a lot of GRF people there. And I think Knife Ninja, myself, Dean Guitarist, and Mexico, we're all driving the Alpine there. And we're having a good 4-way. I think I called it the Epic Alpine affray or altercation, and we've all decided on our own rules, which is no cuts that we wouldn't use in GRF, and that we're all taking the Alpine for every single one. So that's good. And again, shout out to Garlic Doug for doing that championship. He's doing a great job there. So anything else we want to talk about?
I don't have anything else on my list.
Okay, good. So it's a bit of a roundup and a bit of talk of what's been going on in our personal lives as well. Shout outs, Dennis. Anyone you want to say?
Yeah, shout out to all the other admins that have been there while I was away, and thanks for organizing everything and keep everything going. And also shout out to all the new guys that joined our Discord, which I didn't see while I was away because I didn't have a Wi-Fi connection like every day.
Okay, cool. For me, yeah, shout out to all the admins who took on anything that I would have been doing as well, because I was absent for a while myself. While still being able to drive, I was just shutting myself off from most other stuff. So thank you guys for covering there. And yeah, and also Knife Ninja, Pukey, and N Bates. You guys have been really really cool. We're having some tight battles. So, and Toolmaker as well. So that's about it really from me, and I think we should probably stop there.
Yeah.
Okay, speak to you guys soon.